The story begins with a boy who wakes up in complete darkness. He is terrified and has no idea where he is. At first, he cannot see anything at all, but after a while, he starts noticing a very faint light in front of him. That light slowly grows brighter, and then he realizes that the light is coming from inside an eggshell. A small part of the shell is broken, allowing him to peek outside. Through that tiny opening, he can see that he is in a forest. This only fills his mind with even more questions, especially when he realizes that he cannot move his body at all. While he is still trying to process all this, a status screen suddenly appears in front of him. As soon as he reads it, he freezes in shock, because it clearly states that he is a dragon egg. This completely confuses him. Then his status window fully opens, and a divine voice announces that this window displays all his current abilities in numerical form so they can be easily understood. Still completely confused, he tries to talk to the divine voice and angrily asks what is actually going on. But the divine voice calmly replies that he is currently at level 1, so it cannot explain everything to him yet. This answer irritates him even more. In anger, he slightly moves his body, and because of that, he falls from the tree he was resting on. He hits the ground and then keeps rolling down a slope without stopping, until he finally reaches a river. There, he sees his reflection in the water. When he looks closely, he is shocked to see that his reflection is truly that of a dragon egg. Seeing him so confused, the divine voice finally takes pity on him and decides to properly explain his situation. It tells him that he is indeed a dragon egg, which is considered a ranked monster in this world. If his shell breaks completely, he will die instantly. That means even creating that small hole in the shell was a huge risk for him. The divine voice further explains that although dragon eggs are at the very bottom of the food chain in this world, they still have the potential to grow into terrifying and powerful dragons over time. But this is only possible if they can survive long enough. Because dragon eggs are considered a delicious delicacy for monsters, and since they have no legs, they can only move by rolling from one place to another. Even after hearing all this, he still cannot fully understand what exactly has happened to him. He decides that staying in one place is extremely dangerous, so he begins rolling away with all his strength. Unfortunately, this causes him to fall down a small cliff. He has already fallen many times recently, and because of this, the system announces that his fall resistance has increased from level 1 to level 2. Even so, his HP decreases from the fall, making him realize that he needs to be much more careful. Feeling injured and exhausted, he decides to sleep so he can recover. When he wakes up, he finds that his HP has fully recovered. This makes him realize that sleeping completely refills his health bar, which becomes a small relief for him in this strange and dangerous world. After that, he starts rolling forward again, thinking about what will happen when he finally hatches. He wonders if one day he will become a giant dragon and whether he will have to constantly fight enemies just to stay alive. Lost in these thoughts, he keeps moving forward. Suddenly, he stops, because he sees a huge worm a short distance away. Sensing danger, he quickly hides behind a tree and immediately uses his appraisal skill on it. The result shows that the creature is called a gitter. Just as the worm notices him, it instantly lunges at him and starts chasing him with clear murderous intent. He rolls away with all his strength, but he himself realizes that he cannot survive for long by just rolling. At this speed, he will eventually be caught. He understands that if he wants to survive, he must somehow turn the situation in his favor. The worm chases him all the way to the edge of a cliff. Just as it jumps to swallow him whole, he uses all his strength at the last moment and escapes. He crashes into the creature and pushes it off the cliff. The monster rolls down and dies instantly. This becomes his first victory in life. The system immediately announces that he has gained 12 experience points and has now reached level 5. Along with that, all his stats become fully maxed. Not only that, he has now also fulfilled the conditions for evolution, giving him 2 choices: baby dragon or little dragon. Since he does not know the real difference between them, the system explains. The little dragon is described as a bony breed of dragon. Although it is smaller compared to other dragons, when fully grown, it is still larger than a bear and is famous for its powerful fire breath attack. About the baby dragon, the system explains that it is not very suitable for combat because its claws and teeth are small, but it has enormous potential and can later evolve into many different dragon species. Naturally, baby dragons are considered a valuable and delicious prey for both monsters and adventurers. Therefore, wherever they appear, they are constantly targeted. As expected, he chooses the little dragon, because it is clearly the safer option for survival. But as soon as he makes his decision, the divine voice spreads its arms around him and tells him not to limit himself. It says that it has very high expectations from him and that he should always aim for the very top. Hearing this, he becomes even more confused. He starts thinking that maybe the divine voice said all this only because he chose the safe path instead of taking a risk. He remembers that the system said the baby dragon has enormous potential and can evolve into many different forms. Then he begins to suspect that maybe the little dragon cannot evolve much beyond a certain point, or perhaps it cannot evolve further at all. Thinking this, he finally decides to choose the baby dragon, because he does not want any regrets. Even if this path is risky, he does not want to look back in the future and think that he held himself back out of fear or made the wrong choice. The system accepts his decision and fulfills his wish. In the very next moment, his body begins to change, and he transforms into a yellow baby dragon exactly as he desired. With this evolution, he gains many new skills, and all his previous stats increase significantly compared to before. However, even after evolving, his HP and MP do not automatically refill. That means he is still exhausted and will need proper rest before moving forward again. As soon as he understands all this, almost immediately his stomach growls loudly, making it clear that he urgently needs to eat something. He looks toward the worm he killed earlier, and surprisingly, it now genuinely looks very delicious to him. He realizes that if he wants to become stronger, he needs protein, and along with that, his dragon instincts fully awaken. Without any hesitation, he eats the worm. After eating, he lies down on the ground and falls asleep. The next morning, when he wakes up, he feels that after a good sleep, his body has become completely refreshed and energetic. He goes near the river and looks at his reflection, and only then does he fully accept that he has been reborn into this world. But he finds it strange that he has no memories at all of his past life. He does not even remember who he was before, what kind of life he lived, or whether he was a boy or a girl. While thinking about all this, he turns around and sees several dark worms behind him. This time, instead of running, he directly attacks them. Using his new skills, he finishes the first wave in record time. As he defeats more and more enemies, he keeps gaining new skills, making the battles easier and more effective. After defeating them all, he feels hungry again. However, he does not want to eat the dark worms because their taste was very bad last time. Then he notices some mushrooms growing nearby and decides to try them. But this decision quickly proves to be a terrible mistake, because he realizes that those mushrooms are poisonous. After suffering from their effects, he firmly decides that he will never eat any mushroom again without thinking carefully. After learning this lesson, he moves deeper into the forest so he can find real prey, because he absolutely does not want to survive by eating dark worms. He searches for a while, and then he notices a gray wolf nearby. Even though the wolf is larger in size, he still defeats it using his baby breath and dragon punch. The fire slightly burns the wolf's fur, and when he smells it, he senses a barbecue-like aroma. Out of curiosity, he roasts it a little more with his baby breath. When he finally eats a piece, he realizes that it is extremely delicious. After that, he finds another gray wolf, defeats it almost instantly, and with this, his level rises directly to 20 out of 25. Then he realizes that he will need 5 more levels to evolve next time. After the wolf dies, he roasts it as well just like before, and slowly he starts feeling that he is getting used to living like a dragon. Hunting like this, fighting, and eating now begin to feel normal to him. Still, even though he is becoming stronger, only being able to talk to the divine voice makes him feel very lonely and bored. Because of this, he secretly wishes that he also had a true friend. His wish comes true much faster than expected, because shortly afterward, he starts hearing voices from somewhere far away. He cannot understand their language at all, but he still feels relieved, because he realizes that those voices belong to human. He quickly hides behind a nearby tree and carefully peeks out. He sees a small group of adventurers coming toward him. At first, he thinks that he will reveal himself and try to talk to them. But then he remembers that he is a dragon. Because of this, he starts thinking that they might attack him as soon as they see him. Still, he also thinks that he is small, does not look very dangerous, and even looks a little cute, so maybe they will not consider him a threat. He even imagines that they might keep him like a pet. With these hopeful thoughts, he steps out from behind the tree and stands in front of them, trying his best to look cute and harmless. But unfortunately, his plan completely fails. The adventurers do not find him cute at all. To them, he is only prey and valuable meat. Without any hesitation, the leader of the group slashes his chest with his sword. Immediately after that, the man uses a spell that makes his entire body numb, and he cannot even move properly. He tries with all his strength to run, but because of the numbness, his body does not obey him. Helplessly lying on the ground, he watches as the adventurers slowly move toward him, clearly preparing to kill him. At that moment, he realizes how foolish he was to think that a dragon could ever be a friend to human. Everything he had endured until now, all the effort he made to evolve and survive now seems like it will end in a meaningless and worthless death. Just as the leader raises his weapon to deliver the final blow, suddenly a female adventurer steps in between and stops him. She says that there is no need to kill such a small, cute, and innocent-looking dragon. Shocked, he wonders how he is still alive. A few seconds later, he feels a warm sensation spreading through his body. When he looks up, he realizes that the same female adventurer is using healing magic on him. He immediately uses his appraisal skill and learns that her name is Maria. Even though her MP is low, she still decides to heal him. Maria keeps talking to him, and after a short while, the system announces that he has obtained the Greek language skill, which will allow him to understand human language more clearly as he levels up. But this calm and gentle moment does not last long. Suddenly, loud screams echo from somewhere ahead. Maria immediately recognizes those voices as her companions and, without thinking, runs to help them. Before she leaves, he grabs her hand and tries to stop her, signaling that whatever is ahead is far too dangerous for her to face alone. Still, Maria pulls her hand free and runs away, leaving him behind. He realizes that he cannot just stand there and do nothing while the girl who saved his life is in danger. He gathers his courage, forces his body to move, and runs after her. When he finally reaches the place, the scene he sees makes his fear even deeper. The monster they are fighting is a rock dragon, a ranked monster. The situation is even worse because it has 197 GP, meaning it will take an enormous amount of damage to defeat it. Maria has already been injured by the monster, and as soon as he calls out to her, the rock dragon turns its gaze toward him. Now that giant creature is completely focused on him. The moment he sees it, he freezes in fear. He cannot even move and starts thinking whether everything is really going to end right here. This is where episode 1 ends. To not miss the next part, subscribe to the channel and be sure to watch the next video.